Welcome to episode 6 of the Duck of Doom. So first, let me get a brief update about episode 5. Turns out that my microphone was not on last night. I humbly apologize. Almost the entire thing was muted. So what I went ahead and did was archived it on YouTube. I will put a link in the description of this video when it's archived here. And I bumped up the speed, double speed, so that you don't have to sit there. Like right now, I'm just talking and staring at the duck. So on that YouTube video, you will be able to, if you care to, watch me modeling this little ducky here, which tonight the plan is to texture him. But so a brief recap is I took the previous duck. As you see, it kind of extruded out some legs. I'm going to do the feet as separate models. And then I gave him some ridges where the skeletal system will be coming out, and then I gave him some cavities for the bones of the skull of the duck and whatnot. So this is going to look like a kind of a necro duck or something, right? Which is just the best idea that I could come up with short for what is a Duck of Doom? What does that look like? So first thing is we finished the UV texture map last time, so I am going to try to paint this in Mudbox tonight. May use what's called a projection technique. I'm not sure. Let's just see kind of how this starts turning out. All right, painting. Let's go. As said before, you often do not want pure white. Even that white is probably too white, and I want to get a little bit of yellowish, because bone often, as it gets older, ages, gets yellowish. So here's a cool, see this dry brush, if it functions correctly, which it is. Look at that. Look at that. It's beauty when things work like they're supposed to. It is just doing the things that are the higher ridges for the most part. Thing of beauty, I tell you. Interesting how it is much more yellow. Oh, did I change my color somehow? I must have. That's way more yellow. Maybe something about that dry brush. And now that is not doing it. You're killing me. There we go. That's better. That's better. There we go. I'm going to do the inverse of this in just a minute. But yeah, see how cool that is? It kind of just did those little ridges as if I had spent an inordinate amount of time trying to be very careful, and all I did was use this dry brush tool. Okay, so there's the kind of bones. And then for the flesh or the sinew and whatnot, if you hold control, I think it is, or is it alt? No, it's not alt, and it's not shift, so it must be control. Let's go. Try this real quick. Wow, why is that so white? Undo that. That's not coming across what I wanted. Oh, interesting. I see what's happening. Derp, derp, derp. For whatever reason, yeah, the color picker, I thought I could just kind of live change it. Yeah, there it goes. See that? I thought I could leave this palette open. Maybe it got bugged. Maybe that's what happened. That's my story and I'm sticking to it, sir. Right. actually want it to look like that there's some muscle fabric or something. So this is where projection would probably be more useful, but let me just kind of put the overlaying tones here a bit, and I'll worry about the projection in a minute. I mean, honestly, at a distance, like, you know, that's not horrible. It looks like a meaty little skeletal duck. Look at that. But let's just for fun take it up a notch. So let me see. I think I have saved save scene, UV maps, render, paint tools. That projection is in here. There it is, projection. It's designed to work with a stencil. Yes, I agree. Add stencil. And then so I have saved many images, and but let's do an experiment, a test here. So there's a thing in copyright called fair use. In the standard of fair use in the United States is if I use an image or something as a source, if I modify it enough that you can't tell that it's the original, that is a fair use of that item. So it's a little bit tricky, and a lot of people, rightfully so, will avoid it. But here's where projection will probably work kind of well. So let's do muscle. And I was kind of more looking for this kind of muscle than those kind of muscles, but I could also do meat. I just don't want to get anything tissue. Yeah, okay, yeah, this kind of stuff right here is what I'm hoping for. But I want a higher res if I can. Yeah, maybe that is good. It's decent. It's not perfect, but so save image as, yeah, it's not dense enough, but I'm going to try to make it work so you can see the example. And we'll call this a reference image. We might come back and try some others here. Yeah, none of these are super, but we'll get the idea. Right. So now here is this. And so we can, if I close this, move the stencil S plus the middle button, rotate it, scale it, so S plus right button. I'm going to scale it, and then I zoom the duck in, and now if I move it, I'm going to paint here. So you see that made the impression of that underneath. It was way too bold, but it did kind of do, let's rotate S plus left button. Let's go here, and I want my opacity to go down. Here we go. Is that right? The strength, is this going to apply to that? Somewhat. Let's just try that real quick. I can undo a few of these without too much trouble. Right, I'll go back to regular painting. Turn off the stencil. So yeah, I mean, that kind of looks like meat duck. But yes, that's a general idea. Let me, yes, see, I like that better. But let's find something closer. Yeah, this one back here would be cool, except it's got a bunch of images on it, or watermarks, I should say. Muscle tissue, image, body muscular, maybe. All right, sorry. I'm gonna go with meat, not Maida. Yeah, sorry. This may be a big turnoff for some people, so meat goes up. Even more appetizing, huh? So sorry. I mean, this is, you know, the plus and minus of doing art is, okay, let's try that. I don't mind that image myself, but I know that, you know, for some people could be an issue, so. All right, let's go back to stencil projection. Yeah, I can already tell that's just going to be better quality. Although, gosh darn it. It is good, but it's just coming off too red. Can I... See, here's where Photoshop would be better. I feel like this projection properties, I'm just not sure if this is really... Alright, so let's take it down to like really low on the strength. Okay, and then undo it, and then I'll take it on to really high. Is that actually different? Really low. Hide stencil. Yeah, I guess it is actually different. Just too much. Oh man, yeah. Look at that. That's pretty good, I would say. That is more or less what I was going for, so I will take it. Gross and or creepy, you say? I agree. I can take this into Photoshop when I'm done and apply some level adjustments and hue and saturation adjustments and just kind of bring it closer to the tonality that I was looking to start with. But this is super close, so might as well do this where it's the easy place to do it. All right, let's take a look. Did we miss anything? A little bit. So that's pretty good. It's not going to be, you know, the best ever, but for a really quick demonstration and a really quick game, I'm, you know, not bad. So let's save, and then I'll show you like what we could do. Export channel to Photoshop. So I hate how it puts this white background, but so image adjust levels. It's pretty good. And then in here, change my brush like this most of the time. A bit bigger for the moment. So Photoshop is just like immensely better. So see the weird jaggedness here. I can kind of make that a little better here. And then another tool, so we were doing the projection, right, in the other one. So what I can do here is I have saved a bunch of textures in my art folder. And these are just like reference ones like the one I had there a minute ago. Mine were natural. Is there, no, maybe it's organic, I forget. Thought I had some bone in here, some rotting flesh. Yeah, here's a bone looking one. Look at that. So here's a cool technique. Take a slice of this and then put it over here and paste it. Obviously way too big, but let's go ahead and make it fit the whole bitmap. And now let's change the layer to an overlay, is what often works. I'm just paging through the different styles. So it's a little disconcerting looking at it this way because of all the surrounding stuff. So like one thing I could do, let's just go and do that to make this not so jarring. So I did a control click on the layer below, click on this. So what this has done is highlight all the areas that have texture, and I'm going to invert it, control X and clip. So now I only have to deal with seeing how it affects the actual textured area. So all of this is too extreme, not what I was looking for. So I'm going to lower the opacity of this effect and go page through it again to see if one of these kind of makes something look more like bone. Maybe it won't. That kind of does. Yeah, you know what? I kind of like that one. I can live with that one. So then furthermore, let's go through with the erase brush and clean out areas it shouldn't be. So for instance, that bone is overlaid here, right? And it wasn't meant to be. It was only meant to be in the bony areas. So let me erase that out. And there might be more efficient ways to do that, but this isn't too slow. Again, we're just getting rid of that yellowy tone where it doesn't need it. Looking pretty good so far. I think I got them all, but I'm just kind of passing through real quick again just in case. I think that's it. All right. So the way this works, I don't do this technique too often in Photoshop between Mudbox. I usually just do what I'm going to do in Mudbox, save it out, and then just move all the way over to Photoshop. So I'm going to then re-import it, And if you watch the viewport here, we'll see what difference did that make. And it did some good, but it also did some harm. See the edges right here? These are more stark now, so I need to blend or do a little bit of work. It's not super happy with that. What happens if I paint like that? Is that back to the, yeah, okay. Paint, I would just like to do color and the strength, we'll keep it low. Here's another cool technique, is that we can paint with stamps, and the stamp will, see, I can use this image to make some random noise in here, so it won't be overtly uniform. Yeah. Fortunately, those layer effects really made those edges just terrible. But everything else, you know, I guess it is too freaky deaky yellow too. Although, interesting how in Photoshop it didn't look that darn yellow, did it? Might be some of the lighting choices that are going on here. There are lights here, and they have properties, and there's a material, and it has properties, and all that stuff. Oh, look at this! What's going on here? I have two diffuse layers. Interesting. Alright, so that was my original. And this is with the changes. So what if I do something like, let me take half of that. Is this opacity working? Yeah, that's working. Okay. Yeah, that's a little better, not as obvious. Okay. And then if we zoom out at the range that you're likely to see them here, wah, you're doomed. It's not bad, but let's still a little bit more effort here. Have a, clone tool. So hold down Control key to choose a sampling point. And then see this? Blending this a little bit here and there. There you go. Nice. Nice. Alright, let's do a little bit down here. This is a tight little area. Trying to find the right little pieces down there. Not bad. You can see I could use a little bit of projection. Right. Pretty wicked. I like it. So, what do you think? guess, you know, the bone is just a little bit too yellow for me. Like, you know, I'm probably never going to be all the way happy. But, yeah, see this color here? And then let's go use one of these. I gravitate to this one a lot for some reason. Too bad. That's what I should do, is put a little bit of purple in here. Red and purplish tones really add to that kind of bruised or skin or flesh look. Usually. My luck, they won't. But there we go. Alright, I like it. Again, we're trying to make a video game in a reasonable kind of game jam short time frame, so I say this is good. So let's save. And then here is where we can actually do the normal map now, which we did before. We're going to do generate the normal map. And we're going to go between add all, add all. Is that really the only lever we have? Forgot. No, we have multiple layers here. Okay. UVWs, extract new operation. Okay. Normal map, add all. 3. Oh, okay. 0 and 3. So this 0 is the lowest level, and 3 is the highest level, which is fine. Best guess, fine. And we're going to make this smaller because, again, it's going to be very small on the screen, and the normal map is often lower anyways. I do like anti-aliasing. It makes the render take longer, but it's better quality. And then the Duck of Doom, normal, or just norm. Okay. And can we just like totally save out? Oops. Hopefully that'll be what I'm looking for. Yeah, it is. You can see this little crackle thing. That was that one brush I was just using. So yes, this is the image that I was looking for. But golly gosh, I wish it was not that bright. To me, this is better for this skin. DOD diffuse. Okay, good. What size is this? I'm gonna guess we'll just open norm DOD diffuse. Image size 256, good. Image size way too big. 512. How about them apples? So I can tell you right now, there is some minor problems with the normal map here. See these little bright spots? Those let you know that there's a problem. It's not supposed to be quite that crazy talk there. So what you gotta do, go and choose the red, and then pick a color that's in the right, very close to the colors that are in that area. And you know, honestly, I mean, there's a couple ways to approach this. This is okay because that's the nose cavity. Edges that are a lot of small bits around there can sometimes have it. You just want those like way overly bright little jagged thingies like this bit right up here. Yeah, it's probably the worst of it. We'll hope so anyways. Okay, so let's take it into Unity real quick and see how it looks. I'm sure it'll look super-de duper. Duck of Doom, here we come. Alright, so there's the normal duck. And now we're going to add in the Duck of Doom. So again, why am I on my downloads? Game Dev. Oh, I'm having trouble remembering which model was the one. Think this is the one. We shall find out. Create a new material. And then on that material we will get the Duck of Doom diffuse or albedo and the Duck of Doom normal, which Unity will say has a problem and we'll fix it. And we'll go into the scene view, zoom in. This guy looks kind of right. We'll apply material. Look at that. Look at that awesome duck. Moving closer to the camera, so he will be a little bigger. There you go. So now you have clearly delineated the normal duck and the Duck of Doom. So the player should be able to tell what's going on there. I do need to do his feet, although it would be interesting. It'd be kind of funny, like if he just had like little meat hangers. Yeah. I should do the feet. But it is funny. Yeah, okay, cool. Alright, I like it. I like it. So the easiest thing, let's get Silo back up in here. We'll go open Yeah, I think this is the one. And then again, the feet are just going to be separate little bits down here. So let me deselect that, create a cube, move it down, put it in roughly the right place. Okay, let's scale it up to a good size. Ooh, no, scale manip. Okay, make this get a little longer. Alright, looks like garbage, but let's fix it. That's what we're here for. Yeah, that's definitely a bug in this Silo program is you will click on either move or scale, and very frequently it will not pick up the one that you thought you had just clicked on. Right, Control X, and then I'm going to move nip, because this is duck feet, remember? And honestly, I should totally go and look what duck feet are supposed to actually look like. But I'm going to John Wayne it up in this house, because I have a little picture in my head. And I bet you, whatever you want to bet, because I don't bet anything for real anyways, but I bet you that most people have the same image in their mind. That duck's feet are supposed to look kind of like that-ish, roughly, right? And so when he's way off in the distance like that, ain't gonna make a toodly-doo difference, is it? All right. So believe it or not, I mean, that's pretty much good enough. What we're going to do is in Blender, when we do the animation, we'll just put this and a copy of it like this. And they'll just kind of hang there, barely attached. And then they can flap around in the wind or whatever, look like they're coming at you when he's flying. So that's good enough. But I don't actually need two of those to do that. I just need one. I do need to UVW map it. And I should have done the darned. Oh, okay, turned out. It's probably not. Yeah, it's hecka not uniform, but we'll just fix that right now. I wonder if live unwrapping might just solve this for us. Maybe not. I bet it does. Sure did. Look at that. It's all uniformly big, which is fine. So go back in here and then uniformly scale it and move it. And so actually that's too big. I'm realizing now, because where this needs to be is on the same texture as the duck itself. So let's so now I'm going to left click, hold down shift, left click. And so what this is doing, it's just multi-selecting, right? These are two totally separate objects, but they're multi-selected in this window. I'm going to control click inside the UV window, and then I'm going to come in here and go into face mode. And I happen to know that that was the shape for the feet, right? So there's a couple ways I could approach this. I could totally scale it and place it in its own UV space, which is probably what I'm going to do. Or I could overlap it with some other bit here, and it'll probably, because of the kind of meaty nature of everything, it'll probably look fine. Come on now. Come on now. But I think this approach just works out for me. So I must have moved some of these in the wrong direction. No. No live unwrap. No live unwrap. Thank you, undo. There we go. And then, technically speaking, if these are normal mapped, which those aren't right now, they'll be in a space that it has like a really flat shading, so those just appear smooth. But technically speaking, you shouldn't have any overlapping coordinates. So I guess what I really need to do is actually duplicate it. In Unity, you can get away with that, but in other engines like Unreal Engine, you won't be able to get away with that. You have to have everything in a proper UV coordinate space, otherwise it'll actually tell you that you are a dummy and you don't know what you're doing. Which maybe I am a dummy. So that message might be helpful. Alright. That works. Alright. So gonna save this out. You know what we can do? This will actually work. Yeah. Let's do it. There's nothing about the model or the way we've made it so far that this won't work for. Save. Click. Control M. That's all one model now. I'm gonna save as, and this was the Doom Duck. We topologize low 2. I'm going to call this the final Doom Duck silo file. And then I'm going to save selected object. This means I'll have to put it back in Unity, but Doom final Duck. And actually, I'm not even going to bother putting it back in Unity because this has got to go into Blender for animation. So the OBJ that I put into Unity over here, these guys are just for demonstration purposes to you right now anyways. The blend file will be what ends up being the final 3D model in here. So I think that's a good session. It's a good stopping point. Again, I have to segment up this because it could go for hours and hours, and like to make digestible little bits of video for you to watch that are a functional piece of work. So that's it for tonight. I will put in the link for the previous episode that has the cutout audio but is sped up for your viewing pleasure. Hope you enjoyed this, and we'll see you next time.